What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. We're doing part 2 of the Larry Bird documentary, Beyond the Glory. Last time, let's do a little quick recap. I think it was talking about him as a younger, and his mom had 2 jobs, his dad had a job, and they were still poor. Um, yeah, so it's talking about his earlier life, which is nice. We stopped at 9 something. So we're just gonna get into this, and hope you enjoy.
Everybody, so that the Bird brothers would routinely move in with the grandmother for a school year to alleviate the space crunch in the house.
Really, the essence of Larry to me is his mother, who would get up at 3:30 in the morning and go work at a diner in the morning, and then come back as the kids were getting ready for school, get them off to school, and then trudge off to her next job because they didn't have a car. And Larry talks about his father with a bad ankle coming home from work, taking off his work boots, and the ankle swells up to, 6 times its size. But in the next morning, he's jamming that boot back on and he's going back to work.
Dedication, man. Dedication.
He loved his father. His father was a flawed man. His father was an alcoholic. His father was a laborer who had skills that he could only bring to bear when he was sober enough to work.
The weekends weren't fun a lot of times because, you're young and your father comes in. My mom always had to get up 3 or 4 in the morning, or we had to get up, to make sure, he didn't get hurt.
I didn't see it. Is that Bird's sister? Because she looks just like him in the face. Is that Bird's sister? It has to be, right? I didn't see if they had a name or nothing. That's my fault.
3 or 4 in the morning, or we had to get up, to make sure, he didn't get hurt himself.
Among Joe Bird's interior demons were unshakable images from a combat tour in Korea.
Joey was through hell in the war, and he saw a lot of buddies killed, and he was in foxholes and stuff, and things like that can drain on a guy's mind. And Georgie even said that he'd wake up at night screaming and hollering, "Get down, get down."
As Joe's...
Oh, I'm sorry for pausing. Jesus. My dad was Vietnam vet, and he had to go through that a little bit. My dad didn't talk for a while about it. He wouldn't say anything he did over there, and man, that's tough because a lot of people come back not the same. They just can't beat their demons because of it. All they see when they close their eyes is people, what they went through, people dying. And, I couldn't imagine being next to someone that dies. One of my buddies in combat, I couldn't imagine what they had to go through and what they had to see, because that's a horror film in your head every night you go to bed. And that's tough. I can understand why his dad was messed up, that alcoholic and everything, because that will drive a man insane.
Screaming and hollering, "Get down, get down."
As Joe's alcoholism advanced, the women in the Bird family assumed greater responsibilities. Grandmother Lizzie often watched over the 5 sons and 1 daughter. Long before Joe and Georgia divorced in 1972, Larry had withdrawn into isolation and silence.
He was very quiet and shy. He led by example rather than by words.
I saw Larry take an F in an English class because he wouldn't speak in front of his own peers.
He felt awkward. He felt poor. He felt scorned. He wasn't handsome. There was the broken home, a feeling of not having the essential elements of solidity in your family that allows you to feel as good as anyone else. He raised himself up and found the one true thing, basketball, that could let him out of what was this tiny island of his own little white ghetto.
I was playing one time, and there were some grown-ups standing around, and I was playing really well, and they were really excited about it. And once I seen the impact I was making, just with a few people standing there, I started playing more and more and started to develop my skills and really take my game to another level.
After sitting out most of his sophomore season with an ankle injury, the 6'2" Bird began a significant spurt of growth, almost 5 inches over 2 years.
Dang.
By his senior year, college recruiters were visiting Southern Indiana to see the young gun who was averaging 31 points and 21 rebounds.
The hype, the excitement of
31 points and 21 rebounds in high school? I mean, it is easier in high school, but damn, that's way back in the day. way back in the day. You don't see 30-something points, 21 rebounds. You see 30-something points and 1 rebound and 2 assists, and, you know, the ball hog. But he did everything. Man, that's wild. That's tough.
31 points and 21 rebounds.
The hype, the excitement of the local town going to those games, it was amazing. You know, we're like, what can he do yet tonight? You know, what's he going to do tonight?
In 1974, Bird took his competitive fire to Indiana University. But when he arrived in Bloomington, the deprivations of his home life back in French Lick pulled heavily on his closely held yet highly sensitive emotions.
Coming from a town that had around 2,000 and going somewhere where they had over 30,000, right away I sensed that I was in the wrong environment.
You know, you can just see the 2 closets in this little dormitory room. And then one kid's got this rack of fine, nice clothes. And Larry Bird's got nothing but a couple of pairs of jeans.
I don't think he was really ready to go to school. I mean, I wasn't as attuned to what his needs were as a kid as I should have been.
We passed Coach Knight going to a bookstore at IU, and Larry acknowledged, just, you know, so I said, "Hi, Coach Knight," and he just kept walking.
Dang.
And it really hurt
Dang.
Larry's feelings.
Plus, I didn't have the funds and the clothing and things I thought I needed to get me through. I made my mind up that I couldn't survive there, and it was time to go.
Less than a month later, Bird retreated to French Lick. He enrolled in a nearby junior college, but quit after 2 days and went to work for the street department. In early February of 1975, Joe Bird delivered on a recurrent threat. He committed suicide at the age of 48.
His father cared very much for his family. Certainly there was talk in town that he had trouble taking home that paycheck, and he would often stop.
Golly, dude. Him committing suicide right there, and while Bird quit that college and then left to Indiana. How the hell did Bird end up succeeding, man? That's a tough life to succeed in. That's one of the toughest lives to succeed in ever, because you're in your head, man. A lot of times you go to drinking, you go to drugs, or you go to something that try to like get rid of the pain. But he didn't. He went to basketball somehow. Because like that the strong will to do that is crazy. Because I wouldn't know, like, to be honest, I would not know what my life would be like if mom and dad died or something like that. Because we're super close. They've been married forever. All our family's close. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know what would happen to me if that happened. Like, I don't know where I would turn to. Hopefully to God, because if I don't, it's gonna be bad. So I don't know how he succeeded through all that, because that is one strong-willed man. If he did that, well, he did. So that's whew.
Suicide at the age of 48.
His father cared very much for his family. Certainly there was talk in town that he had trouble taking home that paycheck, and he would often stop at the bar and not quite make it home. And he killed himself, Larry believes, and I think most of the family believes, so the family could have the insurance money. They had a lot of financial problems, and I think Larry's dad at that point thought they were better off without him than with him.
He was crushed that he lost his father. They were very close to their father, even though he wasn't always there.
I'm sorry, dude. But anyone out there that ever thought someone's better off without you and they can use the money more is wrong. I understand why he did it, if that was the reason. But you ask the family which one they'd rather have, that financial freedom for a little bit that will get spent in a couple years, or you. Just, man, that's tough. That's tough. I'm sorry.
His father, they were very close to their father, even though he wasn't always there. To see the children and to see Mrs. Bird on that period of time was very difficult.
It definitely was a tough year. There's no question about that. But the one thing that I did was make a decision where I was going to make my own decisions from that point on. And if there was good decisions, that's great. If there's bad decisions, I had to live with them.
Larry's hard to figure out because he doesn't really show emotions. I'm sure he had a lot of pain. He just holds it inside.
Bad thing to
Just
do.
6 months after his father's death, Bird started a journey toward personal growth and basketball greatness. he enrolled at Indiana State.
Wait, is that the same?
Larry Bird arrived in Terre Haute knowing he would have to sit out the season due to an NCAA ruling that prohibits transfers from playing. During scrimmages with head coach Bob King's varsity, however, his talent lit up the gym.
He could practice, and our first five couldn't beat him. Coach King said, Larry, I've got to do something to let the first five win once in a while. And they can't win as long as you're in there. And you know, Larry kind of smirked and he said, well, just let them take their beating like a man.
As a sophomore,
like that.
Bird took charge, averaging 33 points and 13 rebounds as the Sycamores went 25-3.
33 points.
But it wasn't until the start of his junior year that the kid from French Lick emerged at the national level.
Larry always says the turning point for him was when Sports Illustrated put him on the cover and they had two cheerleaders around him saying, shh, the best kept secret in college basketball. Well, not anymore.
Once that came out in the stands, from that point on, it seemed like to me the next year was just total chaos. We had reporters from all over the country, and it seemed like every day somebody wanted me to do something for them. So from that point on, it was very tough.
They quoted him as saying one of his teachers had helped him get ready for a test. She was tutoring him, and they made it look like she gave him the test or gave him the grade and misquoted him, and he loved that teacher. Oh, he was so upset.
That's media for you.
He told Bob King, if I come back next year, I don't have to talk with the press. Bob said, it's fine with me.
The rest of the team, nobody would ask any questions to it. And Larry felt bad about that because he was very team-oriented. And I think he shut himself off from the media more to build the team and to get the reporters talking to other players.
In his junior season, the All-American Bird led Indiana State to a 23-9 record. Red Auerbach selected him with the 6th pick in the NBA draft.
I can remember somebody telling me I was just drafted by the Boston Celtics, and I was saying, what are you talking about? I had absolutely no clue that they even had a draft that day.
I said to Red, Red, why would you draft this guy, Bird, and you know he's not going to play for this season? And he looked at me and he said, do you know how short a period of time a year is?
With the Celtics holding his rights for a year, Bird returned to Indiana State as a senior.
That was smart. That was really smart when he returned because I don't know how different. I mean, he probably would have developed pretty good in the NBA right if he would have went right then. But, like, I guess he wouldn't have played, right? They just held his rights. But I think it was smart for him to keep going, because I think he developed his skill a little bit more, and it helped him when he got to the NBA. So I think that was pretty smart. Also smart to get rid of the media because they will destroy your life.
Holding his rights for a year, Bird returned to Indiana State as a senior. As the Sycamores went through the 1979 regular season undefeated, the Bird legend grew.
He is the pick of the pros, and yes, his fame still grows. Every fan across the land has heard. It's not the card. Hey, Larry, take a bow. Indiana has a new state bird.
I mean, we'd watched them all year long coming along, and we kind of thought, you know, well, as soon as they get to the tournament, then we'll find out the real thing. And somehow they just kept winning.
In the semifinals of the NCAA tournament, Indiana State defeated DePaul 76-74. Then, in television's highest-rated final, Bird led the #1 ranked 33-0 Sycamores.
Oh, yeah. Man, jeez, dude. He went undefeated that year and then lost to Magic, of course. But, man, that's a good season right there. I'm going to stop it right there. We're going to do part three pretty soon. That's the one I wanted to get into. The whole goes into the Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird and then the NBA. That way I can watch more of it. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe, comment, anything. I need some video requests if you can. I appreciate it. So love you guys. Talk to you later. Peace.